And one more thing, the American people have never agreed to have a purely symbolic, mentally diminished figurehead as their president who's simply a yes person to real power. We never agreed to that. We never wanted that. We never voted for that. And yet that's what's happened, right? We all agree, we can all see it, that these figureheads, these puppets of power out there saying whatever. Meanwhile, the Secretary of State, Secretary of Defense, the cabinet, usually run by people with direct connections to or directly from uh, entities like Raytheon or some military uh, thing or branch, intelligence service. Um, they really run the show and make the decisions and do everything. And we have usually, lately even we've had these sort of mentally diminished, like people that couldn't even really oppose them. They're not even capable of it. And so we never agreed to that. And we shouldn't agree to having TV personalities that are really divisive and all this kind of stuff. We need real leadership again, kind of like a John F. Kennedy. And the people are going to have to fight for the real leader too. To get the real leader, we've seen what they've done to Bernie Sanders in the primaries, how they block popular candidates at the primary level before we even get to the general election. That's the Democrats' modus operandi. And all kinds of strange machinations happen over on the Republican side as well. So candidates come, candidates go, people get pushed aside. Vivek Ramaswamy, Nikki Haley, whatever, they just, are they the one? Oh, okay, done. So there's no democratic process at all in choosing the candidate in the primary area. We have to acknowledge that as people. That's one thing we really have to acknowledge as citizens of this country, left, right, center, whatever you want. It's the process, right? And okay, then the next thing we have to acknowledge is that the general election itself, okay, should inspire confidence. The process, okay, the machinations, the actual details, right, it should inspire confidence. And instead, it gets people upset, you know, fighting after the election. Um, there are problems closing windows, closing doors, taking boxes of ballots away. These things, don't do those things if you want to inspire confidence. The media should cover things better. We should have real journalists when it's obvious to everyone that they're all completely partisan. Some okay, maybe you Fox over on the Republican side, and then everyone else on the corporate Democrat side, right? So once you see that, once you sense that, boom, it just loses its credibility. And so, like 70% of the viewership, I think, went over to the internet. So there's some problems with our media environment, our general election process, which doesn't inspire confidence, and our primary process, just in terms of the nuts and bolts of our democracy right now, things we can work on, be improving, right? Talking about that kind of thing instead of the lawsuit against Trump is just it's really going great, the totally handpicked partisan judge is just conducting a great show for the media, and but it doesn't work. In the end, it kind of backfires. All this sort of snarky personality politics. But then again, you ask yourself, maybe it is working. Maybe it's doing what it's supposed to do. Whether or not it's actually working in favor of the Democratic Party in terms of votes, but maybe in terms of just diminishing the value of our media environment, diminishing the value of the office of the presidency itself. The president is sort of like the people's advocate, something that is democratically elected and has a certain amount of leverage, over, say, a Congress, or which could be more controlled by elites, possibly, right? Lobbyists. You have this president who can be a populist every now and then. That's not always bad. That's not always horrible and racist. Being for popular people. Uh, Sometimes it's good. Sometimes it's very working class. Sometimes it ends up in very nice results for us. So we just need to improve state of our politics overall, and we don't need to accept this idea that we're going to have just some mentally diminished, cackling moron, or demented old man, or some, we just don't have to accept this. We can do better. We can get better. We can demand better, get better out of this process, end up with better results. That's really key on the world stage right now. We need that. We need a leader. We need leaders. As much as I'm an anarchist, I'm sure, okay, sure, but this is the setup we're in right now, right? In terms of maybe like, consenting to things that I like. Maybe the president's my guy more so than the Speaker of the House. I don't know. Anyway, all right, everybody, have a good one. I love everybody. I'm rooting for everybody. If you're a Kamala supporter, I support you too. What I would say though is that don't give that vote away. Now we're getting late in the season, but make demands, right? Say, hey, look, I'm thinking about you. I like you, but can you do this? Can you come to meet me here on this issue and then do this? And, make some demands, right? And then give the vote away later. What I saw happen when Kamala came on was everybody said, oh gosh, now we have a female woman, black woman candidate, and it's not anybody horrible that we hate, and let's go for her. Let's just get behind her, right? Oh, what? She's not very good on the Palestine thing. Oh well, we'll push her there, right? So, but then have no critique of where she really is at that time and the people she's really associated with, and entities like West Exec and Raytheon, which are very prominent in the current cabinet that she's currently in. So you should have that critique. You should be able to do that. That's a nuanced thing also that the left should be able to do and say, hey, look, let's get a real critique of Kamala too. Let's actually go ahead of, anticipate that critique and say, yeah, okay, here it is. Here's some real things to critique about Kamala. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, you should have said this. Oh, you didn't. No, here, this, right? And but we support her still tactically because of this. Okay, so boom, boom, boom. That makes a lot more sense. Some people are doing that. I'm seeing a little of that. That's good. It's a good trend. Continue that trend. Don't insult people. Don't do the racist thing. Go avoid that. Do the commonality thing. Do the solidarity thing. I'm seeing this group of people suffering. This people of color groups particularly suffering, and I want to do this, but it's also good for the whole working class. This would actually benefit everybody. Go a little more rainbow coalition with it, a little more class consciousness involved in it. That'd be my advice. Okay, good luck.